TV3 Studios. This is Acadiana's news channel at 5.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. School letter grades released today by the State Department of Education show a mixed bag for Lafayette Parish schools.
That's right. Overall, the Lafayette Parish school system maintained a B letter grade. J.W. Falk Elementary retained an F status, and they aren't alone on that list. Both Northside High School and NP Moss Prep had D's last year. They are now listed as F's.
Our Akeem Ashford spoke to Superintendent of Schools Dr. Pat Cooper about the district's letter grade. He joins us live over in the newsroom. Akeem.
Yeah, Jim, Dr. Cooper admitted he was a little nervous to see the district's performance grade after some changes were made to NP Moss and Northside High at the beginning of the school year. Cooper says the district was working against three things. One, he says standardized tests got more difficult. Second, students who were 2 to 3 years behind were moved up to their appropriate grade despite not being ready. And thirdly, he says the district knew it would suffer by turning Moss Prep into a normal school. Overall, Cooper is satisfied with maintaining a B grade.
We made the right decisions, and it didn't seem to harm us that much. Our teachers picked up the pace. We're still a B school district, a strong B school district. We didn't have really any help in terms of additional money for the turnaround plan last year. So if you look at all those things combined, I think we're making real good progress.
Cooper also says the district will accommodate those parents who choose to move their kids to a better performing school. He also says the district is on target to be an A district within 6 years originally allotted when he took office. For now, live in the newsroom, Akeem Ashford, KATC TV3.
Akeem, thanks. Now you can head over to KATC.com for a look at all school scores across Acadiana.
And boy, you can just feel it in the air. For the second week in a row, the Ragin' Cajuns will be in the national spotlight for a Tuesday night game on ESPN2. Tonight, the Cajuns host Arkansas State, and sports director Travis Webb is live at Cajun Field with a preview. Hey, Travis.
Thanks, guys. We are counting down to kickoff tonight before the nationally televised game between the Cajuns and Arkansas State. In fact, the Red Wolves unloading right behind us. A new look, of course, a chance for a statement for the Ragin' Cajuns, and this is a pretty good statement for the Cajuns. Coach Hudd hinted about it throughout the course of the year, and here it is, a new look tonight, at least for the lids. You can see that big red fleur-de-lis, a chrome face mask as well for the Cajuns, and then on the other side, they'll have the number for the team. This is your first look at it. Should look very good in that high definition on ESPN2 this evening. Of course, we'll have much more on the game coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. This matchup between the last four Sun Belt champions. Of course, Arkansas State and the Cajuns split it last year. We'll have much more from Cajun Field coming up tonight at 6. But for now, in Lafayette, I'm Travis Webb, KATC TV3 Sports.
Here's Rob's 24-hour forecast.
And the weather looking mighty fine for the game. Temperature right now, 80 degrees officially in Lafayette, but we're going to be cooling off nicely as we head into the evening. If you're heading on out to the game, tailgating temperatures will stay in the 70s over the next couple of hours. 60s for game time, so you may want to take a light jacket or sweater, especially for the second half of the game. Look for a little bit of a light northeast breeze, but no major issues. Just a perfect night for football. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures getting down into the mid-50s once again by morning, lower 80s tomorrow. This awesome weather pattern continues. How long is the big question? We'll have that answer, plus a look at the tropics and perhaps a look at a meteor shower later tonight. Details coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rob, thanks. Lafayette deputies arrest a suspect accused of a hit and run after slamming into a home and driving off. Deputies say Dustin Lassiter ran into the home on West Congress Street 10 days ago, nearly hitting a 6-month-old sleeping inside, and then drove off. Deputies determined from evidence at the scene that the vehicle involved was a white Dodge truck. Yesterday, investigators stopped Lassiter on Cameron Street. They say he was driving a truck pulling a trailer. That trailer was carrying a truck matching the description of the one involved in the crash, which deputies say was being shipped to Houston for repairs. Investigators say Lassiter told them he fell asleep at the wheel the night of the crash, panicked, left the scene because he was driving a company truck and he was afraid he'd lose his job. Next tonight, Crime Stoppers of Acadia Parish is asking for your help finding a suspect accused of attempted murder. Investigators say Philip Olivier Jr. fired several shots into a car a week ago on Western Avenue. Deputies say Olivier's last known address is in New Iberia, but he is known to stay in Crowley. A St. Landry Parish man is in jail on weapons charges after a shooting in Lawtell. Deputies say Orrin Washington III fired 8 shots into the air during a crowded get-together at Frank's Ranch in Lawtell. Investigators say Washington was armed when they found him.
3 candidates are in the race to lead the Youngsville Police Department: Gary Williams, Ricky Broussard, and incumbent Earl Menard. Now, a big topic this election season is a rededication tax that would take money designated to the department and give it to the city. All candidates for police chiefs say they are not in favor of this rededication, saying the department already has a small budget. But as our Carrie Beal reports, there are other areas where these candidates differ.
Election season is heating up with the police department in Youngsville.
I went to 2 police academies, and for the last 16 years, I've been in all field administrative, putting people in place to do the job.
Williams adds he also wants to hire an assistant police chief and update technology at the department.
Officer retention is a horrible problem, and that all stems from lack of leadership, lack of structure, lack of equipment.
Broussard has served in law enforcement for 21 years and says he wants to focus on these changes. But current Chief Earl Menard says his budget has been cut short, forcing him to try and do more with less.
I had it budgeted to hire at least 4 or 5 more officers, and it was taken out without me knowing about it.
Broussard says there's other areas he wants to address, especially when it comes to transparency.
Information needs to get out to the public as well as the media in a more timely fashion than it has.
It's been 2 years since Katc had an on-camera interview with the chief, but he says there's a reason he's hesitant.
Just some things that we can give you and some things we can't, because sometimes we say too much, then it messes up our case.
Chief Earl Menard said that when the new mayor comes in, he plans to ask to amend the budget so he can have more equipment and hire more officers. In Youngsville, Carrie Beal, Katc, TV3.
And this reminder, early voting for the November 4th election started today and will be held every day except on Sunday for the next week. Early voting hours are 8:30 to 6, and to cast your ballot early, contact your parish registrar of voters office.
State Senator and Louisiana Democratic Party Chair Karen Carter Peterson is urging women to get out and vote in the upcoming election. She led a women's forum on the UL campus today, focusing on what's at stake in the election. Peterson talked about a recent study showing Louisiana ranks poorly when it comes to pay equality and also health care for women. She says that can only change if women exercise their right to vote.
To remind them that they are empowered, and they're empowered through their vote. They can sit back, they can sit home and look at television and take no action at all, or they can get up, participate in an early vote from October 21st to October 28th and do something.
Senator David Vitter, meantime, says he's got several good ideas to take back to Washington, D.C. after hearing from voters at a town hall meeting this afternoon in Breaux Bridge.
I'm supposed to be representing Louisiana in the U.S. Senate. I work very hard at that, and the only way it works is for me to be with folks all around the state on a regular basis, hearing directly, unfiltered from them.
In Youngsville, neighbors in Sugar Ridge subdivision say their homes are falling apart, and it's not their fault. Homeowners say their brand new homes bought through D.R. Horton have major issues with plumbing, sheetrock, and even mold. Officials didn't deny that the homes had several problems, but did say the homes are legal.
Some of them are building to a bare minimum of standard international building codes, but it is the code.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, our Valerie Ponsetti talks to one homeowner who's been fighting the construction issues for months and what she's doing to get some results. Well, a portion of Vero School Road could be widened to 4 lanes if an introductory ordinance before the Lafayette City Parish Council advances. The ordinance will be introduced during tonight's meeting. It calls for DOTD to widen the 3-mile stretch between Ambassador Caffrey and Pinhook Road. In exchange, the city parish government would take over maintenance of that stretch of Vero from DOTD.
The Louisiana Department of Revenue is once again offering its tax amnesty program. Now, that program, which runs until November 15th, benefits both the state and also those who may have fallen behind on their tax obligations. The department has already notified individuals and businesses who do owe back taxes.
What we're doing is if you pay 100% of the tax and 50% of the interest, we will waive the 50% of the interest and 100% of the penalty. So it's a great opportunity.
And before we head to break, we have a quick correction for you. The candidates for the Youngsville police chief are Gary Williams, Ricky Boudreaux, and incumbent Earl Menard. And coming up, call 236-6333. Tonight, KATC is teaming up with the Cancer Center of Acadiana. Health officials are standing by to take your calls, and we're talking breast health. 236-6333 is the number.
But first, Rob's game night forecast. It's next right here at 5 o'clock.